No cursing? No cursing, just call me Oh, God. Hello, kettle. This is black. Oh, my God. So, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Time flies by when you're having a great time.
I was with the Dalai Lama in Thailand. So, here we are, episode 56 of the Dave and Dave Show.
Your age.
Yes, still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, now it's my age.
Your age.
Okay.
To you.
All right, beautiful. We got a lot to talk about today. First, we got a couple shout outs. We want to recognize our very own Christina Chipman, who's on the cover of Agent Magazine. We want to honor her. She's doing an amazing job. She's been about a year now, right?
It's been a great time since she's been here. She talks about real estate. She got engaged. She's going to be president of WCR.
Women's Council.
She's having an amazing, she has doubled her business since she's been with us, and she's an amazing person. Volunteer on steroids. I don't think anyone.
She's on steroids while she volunteers.
I don't think anyone volunteers more than
She's selfless. We had a one-on-one in here last Friday on Nevada Day. She was dedicated working. I was in here working, and I told her, I said, you know, we have ideal agents that we want to attract to Urban Nest, and that ideal agent is someone who does the right thing, is committed, involved in the community, is a professional, is doing transactions, you know, bettering herself, fun, caring. I said, Christina, like, you're exactly the type of agent that we want to attract, and she's just great. So we're supporting her on Women's Council. We're going to be I don't know, what is it called, a platinum sponsor for WCR to support her presidency next year. So congrats to Christina.
Yes, and Women's Council is doing great things these last few years.
Definitely one of my favorite ancillary association.
So shout out to everyone on
Beautiful.
Women's Council.
Also, happy birthday, Faith Harmer.
Yeah.
Right?
39 today she is.
Yes, she looks fantastic.
Yes. And happy anniversary to Azim and Sarah, who are one of the nicest, kindest. Talk about, they went to Mexico with their whole family and built houses. I said to Azim, why are you painting instead of doing... I was trying to say he wasn't talented, but he said he hurt his wrist, so he could only paint. But
yeah,
big shout out, great couple, happy
great
anniversary, and thank you, all of you, for the service you do for our community.
Yes. So, this is kind of a great segue.
Okay.
Yesterday in Nest Connect, which is our private Facebook group just for Urban Nest, I did a video talking about...
It was a great video.
Did you like it?
Yeah, you were very inspired.
I said the 5 ways to survive the coming tsunami of real estate disruption, and how to do it without selling your soul, because that's important. There's one way to survive, and the other way, some people survive by cutting corners, right? And that's not really surviving. That's not, and it's definitely not thriving.
Agreed.
And that conversation bleeds into what the role of a brokerage is in a realtor's life, which in extension is adjacent to what the role has evolved of an agent in a client's life. There's like a very good congruence.
Exactly.
Right. And it also is about, you know, you don't want to be hypocritical. If you tell your agents, like, you know, this is the way we believe you should treat your clients, you better treat your agents the same way, right?
Yep.
So
be present.
One of the things we've talked about over and over on this forum is how our company is evolving, right? And one of those things is if you're not changing, you're dying, right? If you're not growing, you're dying, right? Urban Nest, as we started, is not the same company. Right?
No, and a lot of people that are older tend not to want to change, and it frightens them, but change is phenomenal. It brings
growth.
new stuff to, new thoughts, new everything. So it's boring not to change.
And there's new challenges that come, and our industry
Exactly.
is, some people say it's under attack, some people say it's needed. Most people's industries out there are in a very similar kind of dynamic right now, right?
Yes.
Things are changing rapidly, and but what's cool is you gotta kind of solve the problem, right? So from day one, our logo, or not our logo, our slogan, our motto, our mission has been what? Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Quality over quantity.
Right, and words on the wall or in like a culture statement or a values mission statement sometimes ring hollow because they're just words on a wall or they're words on a mission statement. Like, we've adhered to this statement from day one. That's where we have stayed the same, right?
You know what the most amazing part of that? We did that for us.
Yes.
Basically, you and I, because we wanted to have the company like that. We wanted it to represent what we felt was the higher standard of right. But the amazing part is our agents come to us and they hear a story where we let an agent go or we didn't hire that agent because of quality over, and they thank us.
Yep.
They say, thanks, Dave, for keeping that high standard, because that reflects upon us. That's how much they embrace it.
Which the high standard then also reflects their business, right? They don't get devalued as agents. They attract who they are, right? And there's something like I hate to use the word prostitute, like where you'll just do anything, but the word is like, you're not selling out for every piece of business out there. You're not willing to sacrifice your standards and who you are just to get the deal, right? And
and you know what they love?
Selling your soul.
No, they love is that the listing agent will say, when I saw it was an Urban Nest agent, I knew I could take the deal because the transaction or the offer, because I knew it would go through with a quality agent. And that, I love that.
Love us or hate us, we're going to do the right thing and we're going to do it in a fair manner, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. I learned that from you. All right, so let's talk about the role of the brokerage. I talked about this a little bit yesterday in our private group. Gary Keller, I always bring him up. I think he's a dynamic leader, but his infamous line is, we are no longer a real estate company, we're a technology company, which there's been, listen, I love him. I think he's a dynamic leader, but I don't believe it's technology that sets people apart, because technology has become so commonplace that everybody has access to it. So there's this, I forgot what law it is, I want to say it's Moore's law, that technology is doubling itself, right, every 2 years. And we're going to hit a point where it stops in like 2024. And the access and the cost to this technology is going to be so cost effective and so easy to have access to it, so that we're all going to be able to have that technology.
I'll be 60 in 2020. I don't know if I can handle that.
But the point is, like, I don't think there's differentiation as much as people think because of technology. Like, the technology is going to grow, everyone's going to use it.
And it's great for our business, but we will always be a belly-to-belly business.
And that's where I agree. So I doubled down and said, we're a relationship company. In addition to a personalized relationship. I mean, what you saw him and I talk about is, we have relationships with Christina Chipman and Faith Harmer and Sarah and Azim Jessa. Like, this isn't just business. We care about these people. I spend time with these people outside of real estate.
We smile when we think of them.
Exactly.
That's the good and the pure joy of their successes, work-wise, life-wise, children-wise. We want to celebrate. Like, I was thrilled to read the story that Azim wrote this morning.
That's beautiful.
When he met her, like, two really great people in our life.
And you also serve the entire person. Like, let's just use, like, we've all been to doctors, right? There are some doctors that just serve the issue you bring in at hand. Then there's doctors that serve the entire person. Remember, we've had a doctor forever, he's retired now, Michael Petruzzo.
Right.
We would wait 2 hours for him, and it was a pain in the butt. But once you were in there, he'd be talking to you, and he's getting the whole picture, and he
My
wants to know
blood pressure was always good with him
Yes.
because he calmed me down to take it, because he talked to me as a man, not as a body.
And yet, and people would be willing to wait 2 hours in a waiting room for him.
Yeah.
That's how great the level of service and care and bedside manner that he brought to the table. And what's beautiful about our agents is they do the same for their clients. That's relationship-based business. And what I talked about yesterday is relationship-based business is probably a played out word. It's basically like adding more and more value and care, like actually walking the walk. It's doing things without expecting something in return.
Agreed.
Right? So how does this play into the fact that the brokerage role and the agent role has changed? I believe that we have become a personalized coaching and consulting company. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because anyone can teach how to fill out a form, and anyone can sign up for a lead program or things like that. But it's a whole different game to invest into the person deeply, especially with the turnover in real estate of how many agents come and go and get out of the business. You know, there's like a 90% turnover in real estate in general, that agents aren't agents anymore after 3 years, right? So like what we do we're one of the only companies, if someone knows of another company that does this, tell us. I mean, we would say, like, please do this, even our competitors. It helps the industry. I mean, what we do at Buffini, you want to explain what we do at Buffini?
So the agent takes the Buffini course and they pay for the class.
Like $395.
$395. Then after they complete it, their first transaction after it, and we have one today, and we credit back the $395, so that Buffini course, whether it's the first one, the second one, it gets credited back to the agent. So basically we paid, you and I paid for them to do the Buffini training.
And that's an investment in our people.
I don't know anyone else that pays for professional course.
And we have anywhere from 10 to 20, depending upon how many people sign up. So every time we do that, it's anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 investment on our behalf.
Yep. But let's go a step further and talk about our agents in this program, the people that teach it. We have the teachers that are certified Buffini instructors that come in here and give back to the agents and teach this course for absolutely free to us.
Sarah Jessa does an amazing job. Marie Kling does an amazing job.
Right. Ben taught
Ben Correa.
Right. Dave has taught some. So it's like when you start giving back, the world gives back to you.
Yeah.
And these agents, we're talking, we're not talking about non-producers teaching. We're talking about top producers giving their time up to teach the class, to give back. And that's the amazing part of the whole thing. Give back surrounds. Good goes to good. And then we give back because the agents may ask us. One of those agents asked me to help him with a listing at Red Rock. And I said, for you, anything. You're giving back. So I went and helped them get a listing. So that circle of giving back and doing the right thing is a huge circle. It just keeps coming around.
Which, let's extend it out to the agent with their client. If, the agents that are the most successful are friends with their clients. It's not clients. When they have a customer or client appreciation party, it's just a party because they're spending time with people that they care about, right? They continually, they're protecting their people. They want the best for them. It sometimes sounds just like, I don't know, sales speak. But when you're doing this right, it's a whole nother level.
It is.
It almost becomes not work. It becomes like, how can I serve and how can I give? So that role, has changed. Now let's talk about an agent, for instance. The client, the buyer or the seller, has access to more information than they've ever had in history. They can search properties on Redfin, Homes.com, Realtor.com, Zillow. There's a million platforms out there that they can search homes, right? There is more information on the internet, on Google, than you can possibly read. But what has happened is there's so much information. There's too much information. There are like 5 different valuations online of what your house is worth. And what there's even ways to see a house, from virtual tours to 3D to the Oculus, what is it called?
Oculus?
Is it just called Oculus?
No, I don't know.
It's the virtual reality.
The virtual reality. You could even access homes without an agent, right?
Right.
But where agents come into place is the expertise and the care. Now,
And knowledge of, like, you could look at that home and say it's great. So I was in San Diego and I looked at this condo and it was awesome, and it was 3 bedrooms and it was $599. So I was walking to exercise and I walked 10 blocks. It was a big walk like yours. And I look and the condo's there and the palm tree was beautiful. What they didn't show in the picture, it was on the Beltway. Nowhere in the picture.
I got the same story. I was in Carlsbad looking for something, and I pulled a David Tina, the old one, I won't say senior, and I started talking to one of the guys who lives there, an older guy, and he's like, yeah, it's all great. He goes, and you get used to hearing the, what's it called? The
Collider,
train? The train. It's not a real train. It's like, I forgot, it's a coaster.
Yeah, the coaster.
And I'm like, I didn't even think about the coaster going till like 12 o'clock on the weekends.
The thump, yeah.
And it actually makes the sound. It beeps the horn so it doesn't hit anybody.
Gotcha.
And we're experts in Las Vegas in our field, negotiation, you name it. But when it comes to things outside of our expertise, which is in California, like, we don't live there. So just having those conversations.
And no internet and no source, and no one's going to be able to help you with that except the realtor to explain to you that the school bus is down the block, and every morning at 8 and at 3 you can't but stop because the bus, there's just these things.
I listened to a video yesterday where they were saying that studies show that affluent people have less of an issue with realtors. Their trust level of realtors is like exponentially higher than most people. And I started trying to digest why this is. And I think they have the mindset of, like, I have a CPA, I have an attorney, I know the value of an expert in my life. I also have limited time to do this on my own, and I want to have that advocate, that expert, that person, because I know that person can save me from making a bad decision or losing money.
And I love the internet because it with a buyer, it saves you the type of house they like, because they keep picking. I like this one, and they're all, in the old days you had to take them to the houses to see which style I liked, but when they get there, the first thing they say is, I don't know what neighborhood I want, what the feel is, and then we get to take them around, choose that neighborhood. We know the house they like from the internet, and then we get to put them in the right house.
So I'm going to bring a point into this. So you know what industry is on the rise? The industry of paying for a class online. So online education is already a billion-dollar industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they're projecting it to be almost $1 billion a day within the next 10 years, right? So if you have a DIY person who's like, I could figure out real estate, they may go online and pay for like a $3,000 course or a $5,000 course taught by a masterclass realtor, right, to try to figure it out. Well, what if the commission you're paying is really just paying for a master class, right? Like, I have most of the information, I have a lot of disinformation, and now I'm just going to pay a fee to figure it out. Like, it changes the dynamic, because a lot of people want to be part of the process.
Yeah.
It's like going on to WebMD, and
I never go on WebMD.
but trying to like figure it out. So you may have some more knowledge.
And 57 diseases.
And 57 diseases. That's why you go to the experts, so the expert could be like, which my concierge doctor says to me, Dave, let me worry about your health and keeping you alive. You worry about what you do. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. That's why I pay you extra money to worry about
I'm in
that.
on that.
So that's how the agent's role has evolved inside of the relationship with the client, right? The expert, the advocate, the protector, that's their role, right? The same thing as an attorney, a doctor. Now, where the brokerage has evolved is very similar. The broker is the coach and the consultant, preparing the agent to be able to learn in multiple ways, providing the Buffini, the one-on-one, the inside a transaction help, the one-on-one conversations about where are you in your business, where are you on the next level path, right? How many transactions are you forecasting? What are you doing that's working? What are you doing that you should probably get away because it's not serving you and the return on investment is terrible? We're a guide on their path.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Young one.
Older one.
or a little aged one. We both give the same answers anyway.
We do, in a much different way.
Yes.
He's a very caring, and we're gonna carry you on the path, and I'm gonna kick your butt down the path, and they're both effective.
Yes.
So this bleeds into the 5 ways to survive the coming tsunami of real estate disruption. I forgot my list, but luckily I have it memorized. Number 1 we talked about. You must commit to relationship based. There has to be commitment. I don't care if you're getting, we have some people that we've seen that they're just getting tons of leads and they're serving those leads, and then once that lead is done, what happens? They're not doing it.
They never get repeat business either.
And then what should they be doing? They paid for that lead. What should they be doing with that lead?
Creating a relationship with them after they sell the house, keeping in contact, giving client parties, just everything on it.
Bringing them into their world, into their ecosystem,
Exactly.
Becoming friends, or at least being the person that is giving them great information and they're the source, right? So
Trusted advisor. I don't know if they have to be friends, because we can't. I remember after I did my transactions, I'd say, we're still going to keep in contact, but we can't speak to each other every day because the transaction's now closed. Otherwise, you couldn't move on to the next. But you keep them in your circle, and you keep the contact. You do the client appreciation parties. I remember I did a cancer care at Red Rock Country Club, and all of them came, and we chit-chatted.
And you're right. You could be a friend, advisor, consultant, coach, any of the above. Some of the people we worked with have become some of our great friends.
Right.
Some of them are just acquaintances that we're glad to see once or twice a year.
And we keep them in our loop.
Yes. There's a true what a good guy. Let me refer this guy business. Him and I are probably the best referrers in the world, because we find someone that we trust and who does a great job, and then we just shower them with referrals, right? Because we always got a guy, right? So number 1 is add more value, and you got to commit to relationships. Number 2, and this may be a little, I don't want to say controversial, but I believe that every agent should be trying to up the size of their sales, like the people they serve, right? The biggest disruption, and for those consumers out there, you're the target. If you own a house below $400,000, I hate to be super aggressive on this, but they're coming for you because they think you're ignorant. They're going to try to basically give you an instant offer, or Wall Street's going to try to buy your house for a discount without a realtor.
Just because they're nice. Just because they want to make it easy for you. They're not talking about the excessive fees, or that you're losing $20,000 to $25,000 off the sales price by not putting it on the open market. And that's where they get that price point you're telling us. And what do they do after they buy it? They paint it for about $500, and they raise the price $25,000.
Listen, it's literally like going to court as a defendant without an attorney and you have the best prosecutor that is backed by $1 billion in Wall Street trying to convict you, and you have no attorney. That's literally what it's like. So even a not so great realtor is going to protect you better than not having one at all.
Exactly right.
That's just the way it is. So but I'm a realist, Pop, and Wall Street will win a certain amount of market share. People will fall for this. Their advertising and marketing is amazing, right? They make it seem like real estate transaction is the most difficult, gut-wrenching thing in the world, and you should give away a huge portion of your equity in order to avoid any pain. Which, unfortunately, that's the mentality of our society a little bit right now.
In teaching the classes, I always talk about my sister Donna, or your Aunt Donna, and I say, would you do this to the realtors if it was your sister Donna? And treat them like my sister Donna. I would never, and she's in New York, let her list her house with one of those companies and lose all that money off the table of her life savings, because most of us, our biggest money acquisition through our
wealth acquisition
is our
growth.
home.
Yep.
And to give part of that away, because I don't want to do an open house or let them show it, it is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like he said it, like the people who own a house under 400,000. I mean, I don't want to make an assumption, but every 10,000, every 10,000 probably means more.
Right.
To them, no one wants to give away $5,000-$10,000. Listen, it may not be perfectly easy, but nothing in life that's worth it is easy. Get a little uncomfortable for 30 days, show your house, make sure the bed is made and the drapes are open every day, and get the most for your house.
My house was never cleaner than when I had it.
But because of that, they're going to get more market share. So agents out there, you're going to have, if you live in that 250 to 350 range, especially in Las Vegas, you're going to be disrupted a little bit.
Because they're after them, because they're after you out there in that price range, because you're the fastest flip.
Yep.
You're the medium price that they can buy it, paint it, and then sell it for $20,000-$30,000 more. So that's why they're after them.
So agents, you're going to have to communicate better on your story, and you're also going to have to raise the price point that you work under. That's just the way
and
it
it's
is.
not, I'm not hitting like the iBuyer scene. There's companies that say, we will buy your house in 30 days. When you read that, which has been going on for the last 30
Forever.
years.
Yeah.
And when you read it, it says at 25% less the appraised value, we will buy your house. So every trick in the book is just that, a trick.
Yep.
And the way that's the house is to list it, to let the public see it, and get the highest and best price for your property.
All right, so let's recap the 5 ways. 1, relationship based, which is add more value. 2, as an agent, up your value on where you target your price range. Number 3 was take an inventory of where you're spending money in marketing. So I always say, cut expenses that aren't serving you, the shiny objects and, the lead sources that you think are giving you money.
Right. And
start putting it into the areas that serve you. So for instance, if we had a product that we were paying $600 a month for, and we're really not leveraging it, I would take that $600 and I would invest it back into my sphere of influence, into my friends, into my people. Like I would take that money and reallocate it into my people. Does that make sense?
A great example is a lead source or lead gen thing, and it doesn't come through, and you had to sign a 6-month contract, and it gives you nothing. Take that money, do a client appreciation party,
Exactly.
and get from your clients the referrals or their changes in life, and that's a better investment of the money you're talking about.
Plus, listen, again with the sales pitch, this isn't just salesy. Studies, I'll never forget this study they did. They told a bunch of college kids and people, they said, go out this weekend and do whatever you want that makes you happy. And we're at the end of the weekend, on Monday, we're going to measure your levels of happiness. So kids went out, they went drinking, they did all their things, they measured their level of happiness, right? And they were like middle of the road. Then they said, this weekend, go out and do something for somebody. Any act of kindness or give back or anything, right? Then they measured their level of happiness on Monday. I get chills when I talk about this. Their levels of happiness were through the roof when they spent the weekend visiting with someone in a hospice, taking care of a friend. And that is one of the secrets of not just business, of life.
Yeah.
The more you give, the more it fills you up. So what a great concept. The more you fill up somebody else, the more it fills you up.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's the way life is.
So that's something that you can, when you take, because listen, you got to really take inventory of what you're spending money on. And a lot of these things can just be taken care of by doubling down on people.
Agreed.
Do you like that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Next.
Number 4, go small in order to go big. Do you know what I mean by that one? So what was the first thing we talked about? Our slogan, our motto, our mission, right?
Yep.
Quality over quantity.
Don't have to have 1,000 agents to make it successful.
So what did we do because we've done every one of these, right? As a company. You want to talk about that later, or you want to talk about that now?
Well, I'm going to encapsulate it with this.
Okay.
They give stats every quarter of how good your single offices are doing.
Yep.
And the first company that got the busiest company has 450 agents in Green Valley.
Yep.
The second busiest company has almost 500 agents in Summerling. The third busiest company was Urban Nest, Summerling.
265?
265 agents. The first and second company had anywhere from 150 to 200 more than us, and we got the third busiest. That, in a nutshell, tells you what your point is.
So our goal, and it's a lofty goal, is for every agent at Urban Nest to make $100,000. Mm-hmm. And it is not an easy. It is a goal that we probably will never hit, but we want to every year. So we're already at, what is it, Danny? Like almost 70 or 80 agents already have hit 100,000 as of the end of October. We're going to be looking at 25% of our company will hit 6 figures. Now that may not seem impressive. The industry standard is 7%.
Right.
7%. So we are only successful if our agents are successful.
Right. And for the home buyers or sellers, what does that mean to you? That means our agents are going to go that much more for you.
Deeper.
And whether it's buying or selling, to have that goal that they have to do ethical and high business will give you 10 times better service.
Yeah, your likelihood of getting a great agent goes up tenfold.
Yeah.
How does that work for agents though when they're looking at their own business? It's really carving out your niche, like just really playing the ground game. So I always say it's like, don't try to be the high flying, if you're talking about football, the passing team, you know.
Right.
It's just playing defense and running the football, right? This is like, I know who I am as an agent. Like I always talk about my wife, like we talk about it. Angie loves to work with other moms who have families. She works in the luxury space and she works in Summerlin. Like she knows who she is. Like you gotta know who you are. Does that mean you don't serve the people that come to you? Of course you serve them, and you serve them at a high level, but you also have to know what you are.
And serve that.
And serve it deep. Everyone goes wide. They try to be everything for everybody. Mm-hmm. That's like trying to make everyone happy. You make nobody happy. You confuse the marketplace by saying like...
And a perfect example, I never sold Green Valley. And people go, Dave, why don't you? You're so successful. Why don't you? I said, because I don't know it enough for my expertise. So I would rather refer it out and not sell Green Valley and stick to the West Side, which I am an expert on. So I never went wide, but boy, I went deep all the time.
And every business person I coach, we have the conversation. I mean, if you serve everyone, no one knows what you do. and then no one wants to like work with you because they're like, does he do that?
Right, exactly.
Like, I don't know, you know? So that was number 4, right? Yes, go small. And the last one is a thing called Blue Ocean Strategy. So it's a book, and basically it's doing something that hasn't been done or is unexplored, and it's really a point of difference. So like some agents are doing design or renovations with homes. Some agents are taking they're doing like TV shows on their properties. Some agents are featuring their clients in their websites. Just something that like you got to look outside the box. I tell our guys all the time that I don't want to look like a realtor ever. I don't want to do the same marketing that every other Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing. Like, I will take care of all your real estate needs whenever you do. I will even sell from New York all the way to California. We do from $1 to $8 million in anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that is not who we are. So do something different, right?
Agreed.
All right, and so real quick, the way it pertains, like, this is how it should be on the agents. The way it pertains to us, like, we walk the walk. Number 1, relationship based. We have personal relationships with our agents. Number 2, focusing on a higher demographic as far as houses. We want our agents to make $100,000 a year. Our goal is for them to be doing 20 transactions. So we want to attract agents that are either there or are looking to get there, right? They're on the next level path. Number 3, go small to get big. We have capped the amount of agents that we have, and we may even bring the number down as we go. We want to be able to go deeper with our people. Number 4, what was number 4? I was on such a roll.
You were. I didn't even. Well, 4 was what we were just discussing.
No, 4 was Blue Ocean. 5 was Blue Ocean. Blue Ocean is doing something that is really unheard of, like paying for coaching for our agents, spending one-on-one time with them all the time, and I'm gonna get so frustrated that I can't remember number 5.
And you said you didn't need a list because
oh my
you could memorize
God, it's gonna drive me insane. You know. What was number 5?
Go small to go big.
I did say that one already.
Okay.
Cut your expenses where, like, take an inventory. So for instance, every time we think we're gonna give the agents something of like value. So for instance, we provide cloud CMA. The reality is there's like a usage rate of 5% of our agents that'll use any given thing. So we make sure that either our agent's gonna adopt it, right? Or we don't have to pay for every single agent. Like we'll say something like, oh, we'll pay for 100 agents and whatnot. Because it's like having an iPhone, right? When you go get an iPhone, you want all the bells and whistles, and you're paying $1,300 for an iPhone, but you only maybe using 20% of it. It's inefficient. So in your business, make sure where
you go back to a flip phone.
Yeah, exactly. I rather spend money on paying for coaching, on paying for events, on being able to talk with them one-on-one. So take an inventory of what you're using and what you're spending money on. That was the last one.
Okay.
So, all right. So with that, we're going to bring Bettina on early, because is she cooking already? Is she here?
I'm supposed to do
She's here.
Pause.
Are we pausing?
Yeah.
Okay. So for Facebook Live, we are actually recording this for further use down the line for marketing. So come sit down.
Okay.
So this is like behind the scenes for Facebook Live people, and then for the recording, you tell us, give us the heads up, and we'll pause.
Come on, she's got
she's coming
in.
Okay.
Is she
Which
good here?
camera are we?
Just look at us, Bettina. Oh, I like your
Breakfast with Bettina.
I like it.
Marketing.
Exactly.
Doing something different.
I could see. Oh, look. All right, so whoever's got David Julius Tina has a bad angle. That's you. Right? Nope.
You're
Oh,
in.
we're good. Okay. We had a little delay. Okay. Tell us when we go.
Wow, this is like a little
Do
intimidating.
you feel important?
I think so.
Like
It's
a,
a little tiny bit
I think
intimidating.
you're higher up than us too.
Do you
Beautiful.
feel you're on a
All
Oprah
right,
show?
up. And go. So we have Bettina with AHS with us. What are you doing today, Bettina? Why is such a
Well,
rush?
Breakfast with Bettina.
Breakfast with Bettina.
Yeah, I've done this a couple of times in the office. It's
Yep.
been very successful this year.
Nice.
So I just try to come in once a quarter, bring some homemade food.
What do you got out there?
Well, we made homemade French macaroons.
French macaroons. Yummy.
Croissants.
Croissants.
And some really good yogurt and a fruit salad, some scones. So this is like a continental theme this time.
Nice.
In January, I'll move it to something nice and warm since we'll be very chilly, even though today's a chilly day.
What do you have like a class you're teaching after that or something?
Nope, this is
No, it's
just
just beginning.
this has been successful, I think, because I'm not asking someone to come in for an hour
Yep.
to take out of their day. And I'm here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I can answer questions.
Yep.
And it's just been so successful. People have been so happy at the other offices, your offices.
Southwest, right? And
Yep.
So let's keep the theme going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to take a shot at another company that doesn't provide offices, right? As our society
It's
evolves,
called breakfast in the cloud. Bettina would have to be on a cloud.
No, she would be a little fake person
Oh.
handing out fake food,
Right.
and you would only be able to get your question answered in a queue.
Yeah,
right?
in a queue.
People crave connection and experiences.
Yes.
So the easier we're making it to not converse with people, right? That we can get our groceries delivered to us, our food delivered to us. I mean, soon I think if it's up to Jeff Bezos, we'd never have to leave our house, right?
Well, it's great if you are afraid to leave
Your house. Well, what I'm seeing is experiences.
That's right.
And just an opportunity to connect and
Well, that's
yes.
the difference of me sitting up and asking someone to come in for an hour and I speak to them.
Yeah.
I'm like training. It's good, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but that's a lot of time for your agents to take out of their day, and it's not as interactive as this is. So this I can sit here and answer as many questions as they have.
Yeah.
I've problem solved, I've solved claims situations. I mean, it's just been fantastic. So.
Well,
So tell us, Bettina, you have what's new with warranty, or what are you doing that has changed in the last 6 months?
We have so much. Well, we have just come across our first year anniversary under a front door. Can you believe it's been a year? It's
Nice.
amazing to me.
Mhm.
And we're scheduled to go back for a sales meeting in Memphis in January. What this means is that they're ready to give us all the information of everything that I've been talking about for the year. We have our new tech center out there in Denver, fully staffed now. All of our platforms are being looked at. Much of it's going to change. Contractor relations, which, as you know, is the cornerstone of home warranty.
it really is.
And I have to say, Vegas is a little challenge.
Yeah.
But we've made huge strides there, even in the past year. When I first started, our 5-star was about 3.75. And when I looked this morning in Nevada, it was 4.25.
Nice.
So
So,
that-
so what
that's a
Bettina
great-
means with contractors is the people that come and fix your stuff at your house.
That's right.
Because no matter how great the warranty company is, if you have kind of subpar contractors coming out and working on your house, then it's gonna make AHS look bad, so
That's right.
the people they work with matter.
And how we relate to them.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we also launched in a kind of a test mode this year was vendor choice. So when available, this can't happen in the dead of summer or the
course,
dead of
yeah.
winter sometimes, but if there's vendor choice, all those contractors come up when you place a claim. And what that does is put our contractors on notice too, because in the moment, homeowners can go and look online, and if they don't have good reviews and good stars, they're not gonna be chosen.
That's when technology is at its best, don't you think? Like,
I think it's brilliant.
Mhm.
and the technology that supports consumer choice,
That's right.
right?
And
And it holds people accountable.
that's right.
In which then they have to make sure their relationship with the consumer and their relationship with you is great.
That's right.
With experience, so.
Is
Yeah.
American Home Shield the biggest warranty company in the United States?
Correct.
So
That wasn't a leading question.
But I have a
Counsel?
question. So can the public get a home warranty and call you?
Okay, so thank you for asking that question, because this is what happens a lot.
Right.
There's two divisions within home warranty. There's a real estate division, and then there's a consumer division. When you guys see advertising on TV, that's the consumer side of our business.
Right.
At this point, I'm not really involved in that.
Right.
I direct people to the consumer division and those consumer plans, but the real estate plans are what I represent and what you guys want your agents to offer, because there's the additional undetectable pre-existing condition coverages, there's all sorts of livable and forgivable coverage that is not on a consumer plan. But what we're finding is because our advertising is quite good, sometimes agents accidentally say, just go to American Home Shield without any direction, and they
Yeah.
just go to the consumer side and they get the wrong plan.
And that's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Also, the great thing in your company with us is that our E&O deduction is $2,500, which is a very low E&O, and a lot of agents don't want to talk about that. But with your plan and a home inspection, it goes to $0. So it's a huge benefit for agents in our company
Yes.
to use your plan. And I guess the greatest part is a plan is a plan is a plan, but the person behind the plan is the problem solver, and I think you do a really great job of
Thank you.
solving those problems.
And that's kind of like the main point. That's what I really want to drive home. We talk about in one of my CEO groups, or it was, I don't know, speaker. They said there's a person with the best idea in the world or the best product, right? And then there's a person with maybe they have as good of a product or maybe it's not as good. But if that person can communicate the message better, right, and they're more trustworthy or they're more reliable or they connect with people more, this person's going to win, even if this product's better. Now, your product is fantastic, which is great, but if you don't have a person that you can know, like, and trust behind it, then no one's ever going to know about it or use it. So with me, or you, or a busy realtor, or someone who just doesn't want to be bothered, it's all about the relationship. I'm like, I know Bettina's going to take care of it. I know the product's good. Some of it may be better than the other one. Some of it may not be as good. But I know that I have you, and I know you'll take care of my people. Then I don't have to sweat it, and that's where the person comes into play.
That's right.
Right.
Well, and this real estate plan is a one-year plan,
Yeah.
but the connection that we have when your agents have issues down the road, those clients, they still come to me. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of,
And this is how it goes. Let's just break it down. You sell a house, or you're a client, right? You're a buyer of a house. You buy a house and you get a home warranty. You don't know what's on it. You don't know what it means. So if something happens in your house, you remember, wait a minute, I know I have insurance, but I also have a home warranty. So most people, what they do is they don't read the fine print, they don't read anything, they call their realtor. Guess what? That's exactly what you should do. Call your realtor. So you call us, and then we call Bettina, and now you have two advocates that are working on your issue. Rather than just calling a hotline or whatever,
That's right.
like you're trying to figure it out. That's where relationships are the foundation of the plan or the product or the process, right?
and most homeowners that I deal with, even when they're very upset, they really, and I can't solve the problem, they really appreciate that I tried,
Of course.
that
Right.
I'm earnest
Well,
about it. And
there's no such thing as bumper to bumper, right?
Right.
Remember the bumper to bumper? Oh, you're
Thank
covered
you.
bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
Which is, then there was
Bumper to
like
bumper.
bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
And then as far as agents go, or any people in business, listen, you should not only handle issues when they come up, you should actually want problems and issues to occur. Because life is messy, and it's not if, it's when there's going to be a problem. And that is the absolute best opportunity to show your difference between someone who can fix something and someone can only handle when things go right.
That's right.
And that's where, when you're paying a premium or a commission or a fee or whatever, that's where us and you and people really earn their pay. Don't you agree with that?
Totally.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
one final thing, just as a reminder, if someone closed without a warranty,
Yep.
most warranty companies will give you 30 days, we give you 60. So if
Nice.
your agents, because it does happen. Where things,
forget,
You
yeah.
forget, and they can always call.
Or people say I don't want it, and then all of a sudden they do.
That's right. So
Yeah.
all they need to do is, again, don't let them go online, because they'll go to ahs.com and get a consumer plan.
Yeah.
They really need the real estate plan, just have them call.
Listen, it's the difference of calling Chase 1-800 number or having a private banker inside of your bank, and you don't have to deal with all the nonsense. You call your people, right? So that's the advocate.
Yeah.
So beautiful. We're excited.
Yeah, so, and then a couple just minor updates on some of the home services. We continue down our home services path. We launched the Assurian plan.
Uh-huh.
That's the home electronics plan, everything except for the cell phone, all your gaming equipment, laptops, tablets, things like that, covered for $240 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, again, that can be purchased after close of escrow up to the 60 days.
Oh, you're gonna
People-
insure everybody.
I know, it's with
Everything.
Assurant too, it's a
Yeah.
huge company, they also do the cell phones, but the cell phones is a separate.
Yeah, you wanna probably
Animal.
steer clear of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have heating tune-ups, so that started October, will probably for Vegas run through the end of November. For the price of a service call, you can have a heating tune-up, we'll be doing that again in the early spring for AC.
Nice.
So those are
That's
kind of
great, just the price of the $75
Mhm.
will let you get that tune-up for free.
Well, it's not free, cause it's $75.
No, but, yeah, but paying
price of
$75
is free.
Yes.
is very good to do that, and let's be real, everyone turned on the heat the last 2 days.
Yeah, and you get that funky smell, you're like, what's
Yeah.
burning in
Well,
the
that's-
house?
Danny
Maintenance
did that
is-
yesterday when we turned the heat on here. I smell burning.
It burns
and I-
off,
And
yeah.
I was like, I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, maintenance is the number one thing with home warranty. I
Yeah.
mean, if people, because it's normal wear and tear, and when things are not maintained, those are kinda easy denials.
A house is
because-
like, a house is a living organism, right? It's
Mhm.
like, if you don't take care of yourself and you don't do regular maintenance, you're gonna have issues. Same thing
Yes.
with your home, so,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
We're moving into the holidays, it's always a.
I'm
fun-
looking forward to trying a macaroon after this.
Okay, and there's no flour in there. It's
Oh,
free.
even
See, it's almond
better.
flour. Yeah.
Yes, which is, that's why the
Dave
other
had
ones,
that
I like it.
discussion
Yeah,
about
we did.
macaroni. I'll have fruit salad.
All right, so we have a new segment. You're more than welcome to stay on this.
I
It's-
think she wants to go back and cook, right?
Well, I'm not cooking this time.
No,
I'll
but
go
I
back-
mean,
Yes,
to handle.
yes. So thank you guys.
All right,
Thank
Bye,
you,
everybody.
Bettina.
All right, so this is gonna be a quick one. We're gonna finish up with the market update, but come here.
Are we doing break?
No,
No.
we're good, right?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't like the way you pulled.
I've been thinking about what is a way that we can honor people doing the right thing in the industry.
Mhm.
Not necessarily urban S people. This is literally just putting it out there and saying, here's someone. So I'm going to come up with today, and you could do next week. How about that?
Oh, you're putting pressure. Go ahead.
All right. So the industry person of the week that I want to put out there is Billy All.
Okay.
Now I know Billy personally. He's another Long Island guy. He has his own team, his own little situation. Billy is one of the kindest people I have ever met, and he gives back to the veteran community like no other. The first responders. He's so busy. He's always volunteering his time somewhere. This is a version of our Good Neighbor Award per week, right? And listen, I know this is an Urban Nest Dave and Dave show, but we're not going to survive as an industry unless we promote and put a spotlight on the people that are doing it right. I mean, we can control what happens here, but I believe it's important to, really honor the people who are doing it right, who aren't necessarily here, right?
Mhm.
So shout out, Good Neighbor of the Week, Billy All. Again, and he does a ton of business, so it's proof that you can give back to the community and you can care about it. He's a family man. He's got 2 beautiful daughters, an amazing wife. He's a veteran himself and a strong island boy like myself.
Mhm.
So Billy's our industry person of the week. Do you like that one?
Love it.
Yeah?
Mhm.
You don't feel enthused?
I do.
All right, good.
I do. Go.
All right, market update. So, buyers and sellers. I have not looked at the stats because I've been away.
All right.
Where are we
The
at?
stats haven't changed. Escrow listings are dropping a little bit because we're coming to the holiday. And for all you people that say, I don't want to list at the holiday,
You're missing out.
you're missing out because everyone's saying that. So the listings are dropping and the buyers aren't. So the best time to list is during the holiday. That's the stats. And then
No, wait.
we're holding very solid on contingent, people are buying.
So, what was the median price?
310.
310. So we talked about how it's close to 315.
Right.
Again, someone asked me last night, "What's up with the industry? Or what's up with the market? Like, where are we at?" And I
That's
said,
the big question all the time.
and I gave him the true answer. I was like, if you are the prettiest house on the block, gone, right?
Priced right, gone.
Gone. If you need renovations, you really have to have that conversation of I have to be the most aggressively listed price. For those of
Or
you
in real estate speak, the least expensive.
least expensive, thank you. That was
Mhm.
very well
Yes.
cleaned up. And so from a seller standpoint, if you have a great house, you're not going to lose any money from selling in November, December, or January.
No.
Like, it's going to go for
Yeah.
what it should. It may even go for more because you have less
lack of inventory.
less
yeah.
competition. If you are a house that may be on the market 60, 90, 120 days, listen, you're still going to get the low ball offer that you're going to have to look at, but your chances of selling are going to go up too because there's less inventory. Right? The buyers are still there. If you're a buyer looking for a deal or a flip or a house that needs to be renovated, this is the absolute best time as well. I know it sounds intuitive, but the rates are still great, and there aren't as many buyers either. The buyers are still there, but you're gonna have less competition on the buy side.
What
as well.
traditionally happens in November, December, the rates drop
Yeah.
because they have the money out there, but people aren't asking for it. What happens in November, December, if you have to move, we're in a very different city here, that people come in and out of the city with holidays or not,
Yeah.
because of the transferees in and out. And man, what a great time to buy. And maybe sometimes get some bargains.
So as usual, buyer and seller market. He's gonna say buyer, I'm gonna say it depends. So that's where we are with that. One last update on Urban Nest. Save the date. Now you gotta love my number one, Danielle Burns. She put some great marketing together. We have our annual, what is this, our 8th annual? Eighth annual Thanksgiving potluck and our 8th annual holiday party.
Yes.
So our potluck is what it sounds like. So all 3 offices, Southwest, Summerlin, and Green Valley, will congregate here in Summerlin for our Thanksgiving potluck. Bring your signature dish. I'm so bad, I owe it. What do I do at the potluck? I'm the worst.
He asks who makes it
I
because
gotta
he
know who
wants to
makes
make
it.
sure where the food comes from. And then he goes back and eats my meatballs all the time.
It
after
tastes,
he has-
it tastes like home, baby. It tastes like home. I just gotta know. You never know who's cooking. I just picture their kitchen. And if I don't want to eat out of their kitchen,
We had an agent
I'm not
saying,
eating it.
I don't know what to bring on regular Facebook.
Yep.
And I went right in there and I said, what do people say that they want to eat at your house?
What are you known for?
And she goes, I make the most awesome applesauce everyone bakes.
Bring it.
I said, bring it on.
So that is Tuesday, November 19th from 12 to 3 at Summerlin. And then our holiday party this year is at Marche Bacchus. We're going a little bit different.
Yep.
You know, we've had the traditional, like, sit down, everyone eats, we do the speech, and they leave. We said, we don't want
And
that.
then celebrate. No.
And no one dances. Right? So this time we're having more of like a stand-up cocktail party with live music and drinks, and we're not gonna get like super full, even though it's gonna
But
be a ton of food.
They could sit down too. Don't make them
You
think.
can sit down.
Don't.
But I want more energy. Our best holiday party ever was when Commonwealth just
Yeah.
opened, and it was a fun,
There's
lively.
a lot of mingling in this party.
Exactly. Like I want more belly to belly, right? So that you have to save the date. That's Saturday, December 7th from 7 to 10, and I'm sure it'll continue afterwards. So we're going to provide a couple drinks and good food and great music, and just for you guys to see. That's what we have. That, my friend, I think is it. Let's see what the time. On the button, 3 minutes early. Parting shot.
Let's get something to eat by Bettina.
That's it. That's what you got.
I don't want to be. The parting shot is what I always say. The workers, the people at work succeed. The people that talk about work do not.
I like it. I'm going to do a little toast that I heard. It's kind of a fun one.
Yeah, I'm ready. He was in Thailand, so I'm speaking Asian.
May we always get what we want, not what we deserve. Salud.